very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
Sport greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakpanyemi. Good to have you back on the show. The UEFA Champions League is back. We've got Afro basketball with the D Tigers on the menu tonight and so much more.
I guess, of course, the big elephant in the room talking about Nigeria's appeal against DR Congo, thrown out by FIFA. But, of course, Nigerian Football Federation not stopping at that, taking it a step further, of course, commencing the process of appeal against FIFA's decision. So the drama is not ending anytime soon. There's a lot to talk about, Austin. I don't know where to start from, but, of course, you talked about UEFA Champions League and, of course, the Tigers and their exploits in France.
I know, Yemi. What a story for the D Tigers. I like it. They've already qualified for the World Cup. As I always say, out of 5 matches, winning only 2 isn't really good. But I think there's a lot of lessons in this one. And when we get into the conversation proper, we will talk about a shout out to Sarah Ogoke after 15 years of active service with the senior women's basketball team. She called it quits, and look, she's been there, done that. Only player, I think, in Africa to have won 5 consecutive Afro basket titles. These ladies, they understand the mission is to go out there and give Nigeria a good representation at the World Cup in September.
Yeah, hopefully they will be able to do just that. All right. So we talk about the D Tigers and their exploits right there, playing against opponents like Colombia, South Korea, Philippines, France, and Germany. All right. We're not going to be doing this alone. We're going to bring in our guests on the show. Let's just quickly start off by bringing in, of course, on the show, Kenny Bamidele joins us on the show tonight. Kenny, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be part of the show. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's just dive straight into it. Your assessment of the performance of the Tigers right there in France, 5 matches. Your take, winning 2, losing 3.
Yeah, so before the tournament started, before the qualifier started, we knew that the D Tigers had already qualified for the FIBA Women's World Cup in Germany, which was actually a very good one, which means that we're playing with less pressure. And this was the first set of matches for the girls since the start of this year. So it's just a matter of, okay, how can we bring out our best? How can we, match up with some of European best, some of, the top basketball teams across the world? That was the goal right now. That was the goal before the start of the qualifiers. And honestly, I think that the guys gave a good account of themselves. They gave a really good account of the same. But there are some part of the games that I thought they need to work on, and that is the transition defense. Across both games, Nigeria were punished heavily on the break, and I think it affected the outcome of those games. One of the games, I think it was a game against South Korea, fast break point considered we had 6. Against France, in fact, they scored more of their points from fast breaks, and we couldn't even capitalize on their own turnovers. And I think we also gave the ball away too much. That was also part of the struggles that we had. The turnovers are actually too much. And our defensive rebound, we need to do better with it, because second chance points recorded by Germany today was one of the difference. And of course, in the other game against France that they actually missed out, maybe not really narrowly, also the second chance point was what was crucial to making the difference in the game, alongside missing free throws. And I think at times they get complacent. Nigeria can give you a spree of 10-minute good performance, then the next quarter, they are sleeping. And we saw that this evening against Germany. The first 3 quarters, it was pretty close. And then the fourth quarter, they just could not hold on to that particular momentum that they came with from the first quarter right there. So I think these are the things that we need to work on. And the paint too, the rim protection, yes. We also need to talk about that. France got most of their points. They got more points than us inside the paint. The same thing with Germany. I think we can also do better to see. I tell people that offense wins you games, but defensive rebounds wins you championships. So I think some of the things I've just highlighted, it's going to be nice if they can work on it ahead of the, Women's World Cup. But just to talk about the positive, yes, when it comes to shooting, especially from 2-point range. We are not bad at all. We are not bad. As much as there's still a big room for improvement, we are not bad. 3 points, we can do better with it too. So it's a highly talented team, a team filled with experience,
Yeah.
a team that, they love playing together. So that's it.
All right. So it's giving us an overview. Let's just quickly take a look at those games he's been referencing, and there you have it on your screen. D Tigers performance, of course, Bamdele has given us an overview. But just in case you missed it by any chance, let's just allow you see. Of course, Nigeria beat Colombia, lost to South Korea by 17 points. Of course, we defeated the Philippines 101, so 84. We lost the big games, the one to France, and of course the one against Germany. So this was Nigeria's performance in France, in Lyon, to be precise. And of course, on the average, a lot of people felt the D Tigers performed well in that and could do better in the big one. But let me just quickly come to you. Before I yield to Austin, Sarah Ogoke calling it quits with the national team, a good servant of the D Tigers, giving her all to the team. Your immediate reaction to that?
Yeah, so for Sarah Ogoke, big ups to Sarah for what she's done for Nigerian basketball. I've got so much respect for Sarah any day, anytime. There are times I've had interviews with Sarah. In fact, one time after the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, I think I shared this story some hours ago too. Sarah Ogoke didn't make the roster for the Olympics that year in Tokyo, and I spoke with her. She told me that she wasn't happy with the fact that she didn't make the roster. But guess what? That did not stop her from wishing the team well. That did not stop her from calling the coach every day to check up on the team and wish them well. That tells you that is what makes a champion. A champion is not someone who shows up when they win alone. A champion has to show up when things aren't going well. And that is who Sarah is. And we're going to miss her big time. I think the celebration, the accolades that she's getting, she even deserves way more than that. I think it's just really sad that it's until the last 2 years before basketball, or let me say women's basketball, is being celebrated, because even when they won 2017, 2019, 2021, it was more like a usual thing. They did not really give them their flowers, but recently they've been giving them their flowers, which is really good. So Sarah is a legend for the game any day, anytime. I'm going to say she's top 5 all-time the Tigers player. Top 5 all-time the Tigers player. I'm going to put Sarah's name as number 5 on the list.
That's a big one. Top 5, Sarah on the list. Woo. Kenny, let's go back to the basketball. I've been looking at the D Tigers again, reviewing their play. Right after that comeback against the Philippines, did you expect so much against France just the way I did?
Yeah, very good question. So the thing is that the game against the Philippines, right? We played against a team that they are not close to France in terms of pedigree, right? In Philippines. And in fact, in the first half of the game, we were trailing. And it would have been a catastrophe. I think we had lost that game to Philippines. I'm not trying to downplay the quality that they've got right there. But I don't know what the coach told the girls at halftime. No, the fight back was really, really top notch right there. Now, heading to the game against France, I knew that we have what it takes to beat France based on what happened in 2022 when we won by, I think it was a point margin that time, and that was what made us qualify for the World Cup that year, even though we couldn't participate. I knew that we had what it takes to beat France, but I just had the doubt of, okay, the girls have not played for a long time. This is the first time they're coming together with the chemistry. They have the chemistry to be able to hold down the French side, who also will be missing a couple of their key players right there. But just like the game went, we saw Nigeria chasing the game 20 points. I thought it would have been a 40-point margin victory for France. But the Tigers fought back and reduced it to 2 point, 3 point, and some point, but they just could not, build on that. So at the end of the day, they couldn't beat France, but I think we had a lot of positive to pick from that game rather than negative right there. So I think the fighting spirit it has also improved. I have to mention that too.
I agree. There was a bit of improvement, but let's still assess this team, because I'm sure we have expectations for September. Do they have a shooting problem?
So, 3-point range, they do have a shooting problem from a 3-point range. And one of the things that I tell people when it comes to basketball is, you don't have to make every move difficult. Do you understand? Once you have the ball, don't force your shot. Do the basic things. If your opponent, if your colleague, your teammate is open, you pass the ball to them. If you need to dribble, you dribble. You need to pass, you pass. You need to shoot, you shoot. Don't shoot where you don't need to shoot. And decision making is also very important. So I think some of the 3-point shot we made is of poor decision making and the lack of the timing when it comes to the shot being made. But it's part of the game. I think we had a better percentage shooting from the perimeter rather than shooting from the 3-point line. And I think that is part of what we need to work. If you look at the team right now, we had Tommy Taiwo one time. Tommy Taiwo was more like a 3-point queen at that time when she played with the team, the Afrobasket. I think it was 2023, I stand corrected. She had a pretty impressive tournament that time. But right now, you look at the team, who can you say is your reliable 3-point shooter right there? Victoria McCauley can try. She's not that bad from the deep. Isn't it? Carlo Nigude can also give you a couple of points from the deep. But we don't have someone we can actually trust. I have to be really honest with you when it comes to shooting from the 3-point range. But overall shooting is not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. But we can still improve on it.
I agree. Kenny, we must say thank you so much for your time on the show. Always a delight talking basketball with you. Best wishes to the D Tigers. We'll continue to monitor their progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so that's it. 2 wins out of 5 matches. The D Tigers, don't forget, put it on record that they've already qualified for the World Cup by being champions of the last Afrobasket in Côte d'Ivoire. I like this team. I still feel that they can get the world talking about Nigeria.
Yeah, somebody called them almost giant killers. Just showing you how they've been having close games. I mean, France and Germany, those are the games people wanted to see. I felt it was close, and hopefully in September it will be better when we come up against the big sides. All right, Austin, let me allow you to take us to Bielsa and talk about something very interesting. Of course, that Bielsa is doing, of course, becoming the first state in the country to facilitate the NFFD license for its grassroots coaches.
We've been dealing with NFF.
Just pictures there, talking about the event I referenced. As you can see on your screen, the process of handing out those certificates. The technical director of the NFF, talking about Austin Eguavon, he confirmed, of course, this while speaking at the closing ceremony of this event that was held in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. All right, let's just allow you to see some of the talking points. We'll come to discuss this in detail as Bayelsa continue to blaze the trail. Okay, also, let me allow you give your thoughts on this one as well, talking about Bayelsa State's giant strides everywhere.
It's good, I've always talked about it, that for us to get the grassroots functional, we must get it busy. We must, put our programs and be consistent with it. And that's what the Prosperity Cup seems to be doing. This is the 8th edition. And the state government, they want to use it to celebrate Bayelsa State at 30. Now, they have been busy with the scouting program, got into proper partnership with Barcelona Football Club in Spain. Now they've concluded the NFFD license certification where, they got to train coaches, let them understand new trends in the game. And for the technical director, Augustine Eguavon, to, endorse it, say, look, this is something good you guys are doing. I think we should keep it going. It's a clear testament that it's beyond just getting young persons to come and play football, for community development. They are looking at a holistic view on how to keep that ecosystem busy. I talked about scouting. I talked about talent discovery and development. Now they're busy with the coaches. Well, the other day they talked about infrastructure. I like it. This is the way to go. And the Nigeria Football Federation, what they need to do is have some monitoring system in place to ensure that they provide the required expertise, particularly technicalities of the sport, and if possible, keep an eye on the talent. But this is laudable, Yemi. It's a grassroots football initiative, and now the coaching are already getting licensed. I think we should listen to Augustine Eguavoin if we have that conversation, just to pick up on some of the things he talked about.
The license, it's for grassroots. So this now, after the license, you can get into CAF C, which gives you an opportunity to become, a youth elite coach. After that, you progress to CAF B. It gives you an opportunity to become assistant coaches at teams that are playing continental games and national teams. And then CAF A, which now gives you the opportunity to sit on the bench when you're playing CAF Cup, Confederation Cup, and national teams. So it's just step.
What we're trying to do in this direction is to take grassroots football to the national and international level. And we're very happy that we've gone this far. And within the next few months, we're expecting them to go further to the sea so that we upgrade them from time to time. They don't want to turn football to football tourism in Bayelsa State.
Chairman Bayelsa State Football Association and former Super Eagles defender and now technical director of Nigeria Football Federation, Augustine Eguavoin. He broke it down so well that the attention now is at the grassroots, because these coaches, they need to have the knowledge required to go into the elite stage, and that is very, very important for grassroots football development.
Yeah, you can't teach an exam you've not passed. So
that's right.
This is very, very important, and I like it. It increases the pool of knowledgeable people who can go on to manage the game. There's a deficit of coaching in Nigeria. It must be said. It must be said. It's clear and evident. And if you're going to have a football identity and philosophy, all of those things key in. All right, before we go on a break, let's quickly bring in our guest. He's been with us for a while. Onto the show. Bolaniwa Olajide joins us now. Greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us tonight.
It's always a pleasure. Looking forward to it.
All right, let me just throw this at you. I don't know how much time you will have before we go on a break, but let's just quickly talk about this. The news hitting us today that FIFA has rejected or dismissed the appeal that Nigeria made against the issue of eligibility of players from DR Congo. First, I want to ask you your thoughts, and of course, again, the immediate reaction of the NFF saying they will appeal. Do you think all of this drama should stop? I mean, I just want to get your thoughts through your pause on the recent happenings.
Oh, for me, it's very straightforward. I wasn't surprised by the decision of FIFA, and I have to say I'm also surprised that the NFF have decided to pursue this further. Well, let me start with my thoughts on the whole matter. I've never hidden the fact that Nigeria have just been chasing shadows with this petition to FIFA and the possibility of Nigeria being reinstated to play at the World Cup this year. It was never going to happen, in no way possible. So I was confident that Nigeria had no case. For me, it was a slam dunk. So FIFA just did what they had to do just for respect. Because if you notice, FIFA didn't come out to publicly say that they are rejecting the petition. They just simply replied to NFF like, don't bother about this. It doesn't make sense. Let it go. Unfortunately, the NFF released the statement that they've already been rejected and they will be pursuing it further by appealing at the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Totally unnecessary. I think they should give it a rest now. We are not playing at the World Cup. That's the reality. Why they've decided to pursue it further, I will never understand. Now, I also want to add this. When the petition came up, I repeatedly said in some other platforms that FIFA cleared these players themselves. So what you're trying to tell FIFA is that they don't know what they are doing by clearing these players to play for DRC. Then they still went on to allow them to play at the just concluded Africa Cup of Nations. They've already...
Sorry, let me just butt in, and we need to go on a break. Okay. I'll let you continue with your line of thoughts as you're trying to put everything together for us. We need to go on a break right about now, but just quickly let our viewers know that when we return from that break, on the DSTV platform, you will be on to Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akuga, and on all our other platforms. You will on YouTube, online, everywhere, all our other platforms. You will be with us on Sports Tonight, where we will be dissecting and discussing all the matters, trending matters in the world of sports. Let's go on that break. We'll return for more on Sports Tonight.